Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic, of course, is going to be DNN's Game of the Year. Here to discuss, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch. Happy New Year, my friend. How are you?
Happy New Year. I'm doing well. How goes 2026 so far?
It goes well. Started off with a wedding, my cousin's wedding, which was a really fantastic time. We hung out Friday, which was good. Good times, a little Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Other than that, just getting into it, man. What about you? Yeah,
a whole lot of nothing. I have done like a lot of nothing this holiday break. Maybe I needed it. Maybe I didn't.
Sure.
I don't know. Part of it kind of feels good, but then like tomorrow, as of recording, what is it, the 4th today? Yeah. Getting back to it. We have that week reprieve of like, half of people are back at work, and then like there's probably some people who took that week, like maybe half the week off, and then the next week we'll fully be back. But yeah, still looking for a job, still grinding that out. I was close to something in December. I didn't get it, which was pretty disappointing. But yeah, not too much new in the way of things. Hopefully, I'll have a job and that'll be fucking done with in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous to move into the year without that. It's good that I'm out of like the worst year of my life and into hopefully a better year for me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's really all that's going on.
No, yeah, and I guess I'm glad to hear that, and I'm sorry to hear that you're still struggling with the job thing. I feel bad because I just am a broken record. It does just feel like everyone is really like the job market right now is just such a fucking shit show. So
yeah,
all you're doing all you can do
for like a good.
I was gonna say
4 weeks.
Then you're getting into the end of the year. Help. It's not gonna help. So
yeah,
man, all you can do is keep chipping away, and here to help. But yeah, I guess that's it. Otherwise, like, there's nothing else housekeeping wise for us either, right?
No, as far as we're trying some new things. We're gonna be titling our hot takes a little bit differently, sort of like we did with the thumbnails, just kind of like more essentially, to put it simply, clickbaity titles. Just to
help the algae.
Yeah,
we're gonna test them out on like, there's the it does it work with the way the thumbs work? Where you were saying,
where
so you can kind of test them. Yeah,
and then
that's cool. Like, you might as well give it the shot. Hey, right?
Yeah. YouTube is a lot of trial and error stuff, and that's kind of what you have to do. And yeah, we're streaming on YouTube for the first time ever. So if you're tuning in from there, hey, how are you? Thanks for watching.
Hey,
and
if
you're watching this later on YouTube.com/Delco Network, we're gonna be talking about a lot of games. So let us know your games of the year starting now. We haven't even talked about them yet, but it all matters. We want to hear from you guys. Help us with the algorithm. Go engage, share it with a friend. I'm sure you know a gamer friend. Go share us with them, please, because that is what helps.
Absolutely.
This year, I feel like I was kind of thinking about like what I want to achieve this year with the podcast. Last year was engagement for me, and I feel like we kind of succeeded and kind of didn't in a matter of way. But I think this year, I want to leverage getting like higher quality guests to like really boost us.
That'd be nice.
I feel like last year and maybe the year before, like we had guests and like not too often. Like I feel like we've done the last few years, it's just been like you and me, and like there really hasn't been a lot of concern about like getting a guest on for like a game, for like bigger games. Like like I feel like if I have a person, hopefully we can get them on and hopefully they can add something to the conversation, but also give us a boost in views and engagement. And
definitely,
whatever.
And have a good conversation. Of course, that's the main goal. And absolutely, I mean, we're doing the hard part as far as doing it every week, and I think that is the key. As far as getting that engagement up, it is just like we said, playing the fucking algorithmic game of like, I don't know. We almost have to step on the landmine of virality in a weird way, and sometimes things do hit, and sometimes we will get a lot of views on something for odd reasons, and then sometimes you don't. I don't know. It's a give and a take. That's for sure, Gooch. But I'm excited. 2026, here we come. We're in it. We're ready to win it. But let's get into what we're playing, doing.
Yeah, sure. You want to start us off with something?
Sure, why not? So I don't have a ton going on right now.
I love how like it turns into nothing and then it always turns into something.
For me, I think I can very much say this. So I'll start off with my movie and TV. I have two. One's kind of an amalgam. I've been talking to you about this. been on an animated movie kick. I don't know why. Tamira's and I, the fiance, we've been really going through it. We watched Bambi for the first time ever the other day. And Gooch.
You've never seen Bambi?
I might have seen it when I was like a kid. I don't think so, but God only knows.
Like, I've definitely seen Bambi. Obviously, I couldn't recollect it to you.
Exactly. But my world was rocked, Gooch. I thought Bambi's mother died within the first 5 minutes of that first film. And that's not the case. She lasts like more than halfway through. You don't even see her die on screen. Her dad, like his dad walks in.
Don't you see a shadow?
No, you don't see. Like his dad walks back and is like, "Bambi, your mother's gone. You have to come with me now." And then that's like
the transatlantic accent, I bet.
And then it's very like regal. Because he's the stag. He's the leader of the forest or whatever. I don't know. I had my mind blown, but it was cool to go back and watch something so old. You can see the age, of course. It's just wild to see them doing animation that early and to see how far it's coming. 37-ish, something like that. Yeah. It's that old style animation, like even in the 90s, that like, the backgrounds are stagnant. They're almost a different shade. When a rock's going to move, you can tell what rock is going to move because it's a different like color or something almost. You know what I mean?
It's standing out.
It's very much standing out. But it's been interesting to go down memory lane in that regard of like going back to some of these old movies. We watched Hercules. We watched Emperor's New Groove the other day. We watched actually Fox and the Hound yesterday. That's one I had never seen before. I like that one a lot, actually.
I've seen Fox and the Hound. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. So it's been a fun little, trip. And we're still going. We're going to watch some other stuff. We kind of want to watch Sword in the Stone coming up here soon. But I think we've actually watched that recently, if I'm not mistaken, like within the last year.
That comes from Disney's Dark Age.
It does.
Sword in the Stone.
It's funny. There's like a few Disney Dark Ages, technically, which is, I didn't realize in the 90s,
of them during our lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. But going to a little bit more of a dour subject, I don't think I brought this up. Well, I brought up that I was watching it, but Welcome to Derry finished. Clown It.
That's sad.
It's dour. Yeah, no, it's definitely more dour than fucking. Okay. Like Bambi.
I was like sad.
I guess more horror. I guess than Bambi.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Welcome to Derry is really good. It's a show I did not expect to enjoy as much as I did. Randy Muschietti really kind of knocked it out of the park. I think expanding upon the lore of It and Pennywise and where he came from and what exactly he's been doing to this town and why Derry is the way it is and how he affects these people and how this town grows. I liked it a lot. And they hold off on Pennywise. You don't really get a reveal of him until you get maybe 4 or 5 episodes in, which I think works. Skarsgård, man, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like he really is.
I saw some quick clips of him as, I don't know if there's a human It. Is he really like?
So Pennywise. So like the idea is
Pennywise, right? Yeah.
Pennywise was like a real like he was a man in the 30s, and then basically It takes his form, like because he's like, oh wow.
So he's not playing like the original version of him.
No. So you do see him play like the man. Bob Gray is his name. Slight spoilers here. And you see like the origin of how It comes upon Bob and like decides to take on this form. And it's to do with like the idea like he sees this clown, the kids are running to him, they love him, especially back in the 30s, clowns are still cool. And the idea then is pretty like, cool. I can become this thing that entertains the kids and draws them into me even more easily than if I'm just like a weird little child. So, and that's the thing with It. It's like this weird extra dimensional, almost like a control type creature where it's like this paranatural being that is almost evil itself and feeds on the fear of the kids and people that it eats. It's great. It's really fantastic. I'm afraid to see what Netflix does with it once they get HBO on, and they get their greedy little hands on it over at Netflix. But it's fantastic, and I'm curious to see what the next season is going to bring out. It's going to be set in the 30s, I believe, 27 years before. So I'm curious to see how that kind of plays out. But great stuff. Really, really great stuff. What about you, Gooch, movies and TVs wise? Anything?
Well, of course. We watched Avatar.
We got absolutely.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. Stranger Things. I finished it. You're still watching it. Yes. I cannot fucking wait to talk about this show.
I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm so excited.
I'm on episode... I finished episode 6 last night, so I got 2 more.
Okay, so yeah, the finale is 2 hours. Yeah, dude. I'm. What's the next review after this? So look forward to it.
Yeah.
next week. But I'm so excited to talk about that. Fallout. I'm giving it some space because I want Stranger Things to be in my mind until we review it. And first episode was good. Second episode was kind of dull.
Okay.
I haven't watched the third episode yet, but I know Caesar's in it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I got spoiled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This came out on Christmas Eve.
I know,
like,
man.
Stop.
That's when we're on the internet like that, it's just gonna be there. That's why even like there were certain things I muted
Stranger Things.
I muted Fallout and Stranger Things on Twitter just so I wouldn't get anything kind of fucked around.
But those are good. We'll be talking about that more. I'm interested to see what this season 2 of Fallout is going to look like.
Same.
Another thing, Tomb Raider: Legends of Lara Croft season 2 came out.
Haley Atwell?
Yes.
Right, okay.
I like it because it's more Tomb Raider.
Sure.
We've never had this much Tomb Raider ever. We have the show. We have 6 remasters of the original games. We have 2 new Tomb Raiders coming out.
A remake and a new game. Yeah.
Exactly. And then we have the Survivor stuff that's pretty recent. It is a time to be a Tomb Raider fan. I like what they're doing with the show, but I didn't really love kind of the premise of the season. It's pretty much there is this it's basically taking off. I don't know if it's real African mythology. My ignorance kind of comes into this.
Sure.
Where I'm like, I don't really know what they're talking about. There's no base for it, so I'm kind of like not really jiving with it. It kind of feels very Wakanda-y because it's African, I guess. I'm just like, this is like kind of all new and it's mystic, and I'm like, is this real? I don't know.
Is it kind of like like in Castlevania Nocturne? Is it like the not Jamaican, whatever it is,
yes.
like that type of like mysticism?
Yes,
that's kind of what I would say. Yeah.
So there is this villain who's trying to take these African god masks to essentially remake the world, like kind of thing, and like that's what the season is.
Gotcha.
And they cliffhang to a season 3, so it looks like there's going to be another season.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. It has its moments. I wish that the narrative kind of kept me going, but it's Tomb Raider. I'm kind of enjoying it. I think Haley Atwell does an awesome job.
I mean, yeah, she always kills it.
Yeah.
I would love like seeing her as like an older Lara Croft in general, like in live action. I think would be fucking cool. I think that would work.
I was kind of expecting them to cast her in the new game.
Right.
I think who we got, Alex Reagan, is like the best possible pick. I love her British accent. She's in more than a few games, but Dragon Age Inquisition, she's one of the Inquisitor voices for, and she's in a lot of shit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of Tomb Raider for sure. But speaking of games, on the PlayStation, I've been playing Final Fantasy Tactics, finished platinumed, got through my hump with it. I played that game wrong, unfortunately. And I figured out too late that I just should have played simply, had one party, and just kind of mainlined through the game with one people instead of trying to level up multiple people and end up fucking me. But I really like that game. Really cool kind of Game of Thrones-esque plot that gets a bit more mystical toward the end, a bit magical. There's gods involved. This is typical Final Fantasy shit. But the ending was absolutely cool. I'm not going to spoil it, but like, wow. It's like if Game of Thrones ended how you like least expected it.
Sure.
Kind of thing.
Wow.
Where like,
okay.
Like a big war happens. People come out on top, but then in the very end, like
it switches. Yeah.
Total change.
Interesting.
So that's pretty cool. Still playing Octopath Traveler 0 as well. Not much to say. Just gonna bring you on through that.
Gotcha.
I probably won't bring it up again unless I beat it or something. Resident Evil Village. Not my favorite.
That's all.
I'm gonna go back and listen to you and Nick's review because I'm interested to hear what you guys were saying. But it's like an amalgam of different games in one game. I feel like every lord is like a different vibe, and it doesn't work for what like. I like the village. I like Castle Dimitrescu. I like the factory. They all feel like Resident Evil taking on this like open world kind of style, especially with the village and like the hub. I really like that.
Yeah.
But then like Donna the doll being like this sort of like PT walking simulator, and it's like 20 minutes and you're in and you're out, and I'm like, what?
I like that part a lot.
I knew the baby was there, so that was no surprise.
Scared the fucking shit out of me, dude.
It is. It is pretty wild, and it has its moments, but it just doesn't feel like it meshes well with the rest of the game. And same with Moreau. And I felt like I'm like, I feel like I'm just running from a big creature and like it's short and sweet, and then you're done.
Right.
And then you're off to the factory, which takes like 2 hours, and like Castle Dimitrescu, which took 2 hours.
And I think it's so different in the way of like Biohazard. You have the house. It's kind of this one central location that you learn. Village.
And it's very much survival horror.
Definitely.
This is going again with what they did with 4 and becoming more action oriented.
Yeah. Which, you know, I think they see that there's, I think, a want for that to a degree. You see that with how well Resident Evil 4 did. And I think this idea, even with 9, how they are splitting it up more specifically with the 2 characters and the playstyle, actually intrigues me more rather than what they did in 8 with what you're saying, where it's like you're kind of just progressing through the game and you're hitting these different play styles.
Good point.
Whereas like this is just, you have 2 separate things. You know you're going to get the more survival horror when you play with Grace. You know you're going to get the more Resident Evil 4 style when you play with Leon.
So that's my fear, because that's what they ended up doing with 6, and 6 is the worst Resident Evil game ever.
But I will, again, I think we talked about this before.
So that's like my fear.
6 characters, right? In that,
it's like 5 or 6.
5 or 6 characters. I feel like now I am much more confident in the Capcom that has come to be to know how to balance those and to do it better, especially with 2 characters. And as far as they said of like, I think it's an even split for them, like whereas 50-50 Leon and Grace. But I don't know. When it comes to 8, I didn't remember it like annoying me that much. I kind of liked the more action-y aspects of it, but I'd be curious to go back and look at our review.
It's just like, even the story too, I'm like, you're not telling me anything. Like, there's a lot of like,
I would say 7 tells me more about more as much as like 8 to me. You know what I mean?
I would disagree, because I'm like, there's so like with Miranda and who she is, and at the end of the day, Ethan was just the mold in your bathtub. You know, that's all he was. And I did the Grace, the Shadow of Rose, or not Grace. I did the Shadow of Rose DLC, and I kind of like that. But again, I'm like, I feel like this is like a DLC for like the wrong game,
right?
Because it's in like 3rd person, and like I'm like, it feels like it should be like for 4 remake or something like that. And I like Rose, but like she's like in like 2039,
right?
Like they jump forward to like tell her story a little bit of her like growing up and you know, sort of, I don't know, getting over her powers kind of thing, and like understanding more about Ethan's sacrifice for her and stuff like that. And I kind of jived with it from a story wise, but a gameplay perspective, I didn't really love it. And then I did the Mercenaries. That was fun for the trophies. And now I'm playing the game again. I'm doing a 3-hour speed run, less than 10,000 lay spent, you know, less than 4 healing items. So I'm almost done.
There you go.
It's not the worst Resident Evil game, don't get me wrong. I'm noticing the progression from, oh, we're back to survival horror, and then it's like, oh no, we're fighting fucking werewolves.
Yeah.
And you know, like I don't like the enemy types either. It feels like a bit too off base of the zombie. I'm fine with like random infected people like the Las Plagas in 4, where they're not zombies, they're just like infected people who then I guess become undead. And they get really weird, and they have like fucking like tentacles coming out of their heads. But this is like, I'm fighting a werewolf. Like, what is this, Castlevania or something like that?
But I took that he's like a different type of T infected, right? Like that's the idea. They're infected with like a different type of virus, right?
Yeah, it's the mutamycete.
Yeah,
and it's like this goo that Miranda finds in this village, and she co-ops the village into her cult, and you know, she researches, and then oh look, Oswald E. Spencer just happened to be her like protege, and he founds Umbrella. And like I'm like, oh great, Jesus!
You don't see like that's. I feel like you'd be all over the
like
that stuff.
They've
is so
done
cool.
this kind of shit. Like in 5, you find where Oswald E. Spencer finds the progenitor virus, which is like the base for the T virus. They've done this like 3 or 4 times.
I guess that's what happens when you hit 8 in a series.
You're right. I guess I should like it, but it's just like Miranda's never coming back.
Yeah,
and she just felt like she didn't matter. I kind of liked how like she's Mia in the beginning and she's the crone, and like I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. Like I knew what happened in the end when going to play this, but some of the intricate details, right? And I'm like, I would have loved to know more about like Lady D and like who is Heisenberg and like Ethan Winters. I hate the way he fucking talks. Sorry, Neil Newman. They're like, I'm just like, I want to know more about these lords, but the game is not telling me much about them.
Yeah,
even
and
when I
like,
went
but
to
like,
the
did
wiki,
they tell you like a lot? Like, I don't remember getting like it all spelled out, and I might be wrong. You played it more recently than me. Like in 7, I just don't remember it being like super
the
spelled out. The
Bakers are just a family,
Right.
and then Evelyn's ship crashes, and they find Evelyn, and they get taken over.
Right.
Like there really isn't much more about who they are as people, but
Right.
it's just like, why is there like a fucking like 1900s village? Like doing 1900s things.
But why did like the village look like, even in like Resident Evil 4, like it's like almost like a captured in time type village? Like it's like they have a well in the middle of it. There's no appliances in any of the houses.
Yeah, true.
Like it's like
you
know
can,
what I mean?
You can see 4's DNA
100%, especially in the village part of it. Absolutely. Yeah.
You just got it. You just need the villagers saying like the same Spanish. Oh,
exactly.
Oh,
oh God.
Like those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine game. It's just not my favorite.
No,
I
I
like Ethan though for some reason. It is pretty obvious that he's molded, especially when he gets his hand cut off.
Yeah, he attaches his hand with fucking
with the jacket.
Yeah, he's just like
I'm like the jacket part goes back on. I was like, what is going on here?
So yeah, he just ends up being like, what is
he's
his?
A mold in your
he's just a and he's just a mold.
So he dies when the Bakers find him.
Oh, and then it's like. Oh, it's like a fucking Swamp Thing type thing. Like basically the mold takes over his consciousness and becomes like interesting.
Yeah, and I mean like Lady D's daughters are like flies that like take human form. It's like Resident Evil is so many things and so
like
it's
that's
so
thing,
many things, but also nothing.
Like that's the thing. Like I didn't even. I'm like, wow, those are creepy, weird. I didn't even realize that they're flies. Like there's so many things that like go over my head where I'm like, I'm just going with it.
When you play as Chris and you're at the end before you find Mia, you're in a room of just like, here's a bunch of exposition notes.
Yeah,
like we're just gonna tell you like everything.
Right?
Oh yeah, and here's Spencer. I didn't like how you were. Using the mutamycete to do this thing, and like I'm gonna go make the T virus and start the franchise. like it's pretty much what he says. I'm like, oh,
we're gonna
Lord
franchise here.
I'm curious what they're gonna do with Requiem. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit later, but introducing a new character but bringing Leon back, like what's it gonna entail?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Having the 2 playable characters, which they kind of do in 8 a little bit as well, with the DLC and with Chris.
Definitely,
Chris is just a fucking loser.
Yeah, like say things, talk to people, like
he's such a little like I don't know. He just bothers me.
Just a little
shit.
You
just show fucking Ethan. I'm gonna fucking gun your wife down.
Yeah, like
not gonna tell you the whole story.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I should have told him. I should have told him.
Why didn't I tell you?
Alpha Wolf Squad. Let's fucking hunt these fucking guys down. I could have been a better person. Few more things. Instead of playing Fallout New Vegas for Fallout Trio, I've been playing Fallout Shelter.
Oh.
And I'm having a good time with it. It is a fun little gameplay loop. I'm playing it on the Xbox, so I'm going for all the achievements, doing all that jazz.
Right.
But the last time I played, they didn't have a lot of mechanics that are in the game. So instead of just like taking care of the vault, getting resources for it, having sex, making more people,
right,
getting attacked, there's quests you can go on, and there's like more you can make. Craft weapons and things like that.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's cool to play like the final version of it. I don't know. Did you play it back in the day?
Yes, like when it first came out.
Yeah.
So when it was a little bit more bare bones for sure.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was like
it's cool.
It's a fun like management sim type thing for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time with it. I got back, instead of starting some new longer games, I'm getting back to some DLC quick shots. The Lake House DLC for Alan Wake 2. There's parts of the trailer in the end of it for Resident.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it.
All right, I'm curious.
You need to play it.
Yeah,
especially since you're playing Control.
I got Alan Wake physically on PlayStation. It was on sale for $40, and it came with the DLCs. I'm going to get to it.
Yeah, gotta play the Lake House DLC. But you play as Kieran Estevez, and it's kind of like what she was doing before she finds you, Alan.
Okay.
Like what the Lake House is, which is like I want to talk about, but also
we'll get there.
Yeah, when you play, it's very interesting.
I'm excited.
And I really like kind of the explainer, but then it's basically like Control in Alan Wake.
Right.
It's interesting. And then lastly, I'm playing the Indiana Jones Order of Giants DLC. It's more indie. It's not super narrative heavy, which is kind of odd.
Oh, interesting.
It's not like, again, you're like going after like more giants, essentially, and like the Crusaders and stuff like that. And it's cool. Puzzles are cool. You're in Rome. You're out of Vatican City and you're just in Rome. So it's in that Italian area.
All right.
It's more like in it's not like separate. It's like in, you just go to Italy and it's just a side thing.
Right, sure.
And that's how you start it.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel, it's not like, you activate it from the main menu and it takes you into a whole different like world or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's when you're in Italy, there's like a place you go to and it starts it.
Yeah, you talk to a guy and then
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I'm enjoying it, but that's it for games for me.
All right, yeah. Let me hop in here. So I don't have a ton. I finished Mafia: The Old Country. I don't remember if I mentioned that on our last one. I think I was just talking to you about it. Very well made game, great narrative, well acted. The fucking motion capture is phenomenal. It's very short. It's a $50 game. Honestly, it's probably more like a $40 game. They did put out, a new DLC for it that allows a free ride mode to go around like the Italian countryside, which is cool. You get to drive like old 1920s vehicles. That's fun. The horse riding in it is awful. I really hated it. I don't know why people can't seem to get that in video games a lot. But the missions were fun. It's a cool story structure. You play as Enzo. You're working in the sulfur mines, and you end up escaping after your one friend gets killed in like a mining accident, and you maim like the foreman. You end up going to like
you maim.
Yeah, not maim. I guess like you fuck him up. You scratch his face. Right,
okay.
And like
I just want to make sure that's what you said.
Yeah. And then you get away and you get to Don, the other Don's house, and like you're hiding in his farm, and they come and try and kill you, but the other Don steps up and kind of saves you. And then you get introduced into the family, and then you work your way up.
Family, son.
And you have your one buddy. Oh, I can't remember his name. Your like mentor, who's a really like interesting character. And then by the end, you're just kind of realizing maybe this mafia thing isn't great. You fall in love with the Don's daughter, and then
it's all over.
Things ensue there. It's good. It's really well done. I think you'd like it a lot. I do think I want to go back and get the platinum eventually. It's not very hard. I think you have to like finish it on every difficulty and then get a certain amount of kills with each weapon and maybe do something in certain and get like finish races in certain times. So it's really good. It's really fun. I think if you can pick it up for $30 or $40, you'll have a great 8 to 10 hours with it and very much enjoy yourself. Other than that, I finished up. No, I already said that. I've been playing Mind's Eye, continuing. I'll get into that more a little later. That's maybe in a different respect. I'll actually talk more about, I guess, the gameplay now. It's interesting. Because the game looks pretty good in certain respects. Like the motion capture is really well done. I think the vistas are like relatively good looking, and like the city of Red Rock is interesting. It's a Las Vegas clone. There's like a Las Vegas sphere in it. There's no map. I can't pull up a map like to look at. There's a mini map, but there's no like big map that I can look at. Okay. I don't really understand what's going on. The gunplay feels relatively okay, but the gun looks like it's something out of fucking Mass Effect. I'm not kidding you. It literally looks like a Mass Effect pistol.
You only have one gun?
No, it has. You have like you pick up other ones like a shotgun and an assault rifle throughout. The gun is unlimited ammo, the handgun, but everything else has ammo that you need to pick up. And it has a weapon wheel like GTA Red Dead style weapon wheel that you pull up to pull everything out.
Right.
You have your car. You can't get in any other cars. You can only use your shitty Tesla knockoff car. By the way, you work for Silva Corporation, which is very much just Tesla. And like they aren't even really trying to hide it. It's like weird. I don't know, man. The writing's all over the place.
Yeah, with Phelan Fusk.
Literally, like basically Phelan Fusk and Silva Corp. And you're playing as Jacob Diaz. You got this military implant put in your head during your time in like Afghanistan or something. And something happened over there where you found some type of mystical artifact that gave you like a seizure and made you forget things that are going on. And now you've joined Silva Corp to try and figure out what happened and what this implant's all about and get to the bottom of it. And then it kind of goes off from there. I'm like, there's some somewhat interesting ideas here. You have like this drone companion that you pull on and off of you that like does light and can like hack things. I'm like, there are ideas here for sure, but just not nearly enough time to bake and just half thought out like systems. There's flying cars in it too, actually, which I was surprised about. But it's just... So you have a little drone that you use throughout the game. But the flying car is just it's a drone. It's just a gigantic drone with four propellers on it, and it acts the exact same way.
It just doesn't feel like it's a flying car.
It's just yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man. I'm curious to watch the documentary on Mind's Eye whenever it happens of like, why did Leslie Benzie leave GTA? What happened here? It's a wild fucking ride. Other than that, though, I've been kind of replaying some stuff. I got back into Control the other night because of Resonance. That game is much more beautiful than I remember it being.
Yeah, I need to get back to it.
It's a game that is not afraid of color, man, and I appreciate that. Like, you're going to all these different rooms, it's all this stark lighting. It reminds me of almost like a surreal kind of David Lynch kind of style of lighting in a lot of weird ways. I love it, dude. That game is so interesting. There's a lot of things to read, but I don't mind that. The lore, it's very Adjustment Bureau.
There is a lot of things to read in Lake House too.
Yeah,
that's what I said. It's Alan Wake in the gameplay, but it's control in the
setting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, it's been fun to get back into, and I'm definitely going to finish that. I also booted back up The Witcher again because do you keep seeing these the like rumors about the new DLC that they're supposedly doing this year?
Yeah.
And it seems like relatively real, so I want to get my playthrough locked in on Witcher 3 on my PlayStation because I have it physically now and the full edition.
Actually, that thought bothers me. Because I played it on PC originally, and I don't think I have my save for it unless GOG has it, my save in the cloud. But like, I don't think I want to like
go through it all again. Yeah. Especially just to get like I've been
wanting to replay Witcher 3 for a long time. I'm just kind of waiting for that opportunity where I feel like doing so, and it's definitely not right now.
No, I understand. There's a lot going on.
The thought of literally the minute you said that, like this like
tremble.
Yeah. I was like, you got to be fucking like, what's the? Did they say what the DLC is supposed to be?
I don't know. No, I'm sure it's going to be some type of connective tissue to Witcher 4, and supposedly the team that's doing Witcher 1, the remake, made it for them, like did the development on it.
Interesting.
So I don't know, but again, this is all still rumor and speculation, but it keeps coming back.
Because like Witcher 4 is not close.
No,
so I mean, why releasing that this early seems like a bit of a mistake.
I mean. I still do like the idea, though, personally, just in general, of like, yeah, let's release a DLC for a game.
Yeah,
that's
they
4
did that
years
with
old.
Borderlands 3 for. Was it Borderlands? No, it was Borderlands 2 for Borderlands 3. Yeah, yeah. They released DLC and like on like a last gen game.
Yeah,
like, that's crazy.
That is wild. But then I got 2 little hardware things, Gooch. Well, real quick.
Oh, I know what they are.
The Portal.
Yep.
My lovely fiance gifted me one for my birthday. And it's been, I gotta say, pretty cool. The screen itself is gorgeous. The latency isn't that bad. Every once in a while, like if we're streaming a movie also while I'm playing, I feel like it does kind of slow up a little bit.
Okay.
But for the most part, I don't have any issues. Like if we're sitting there before bed and I'm like fucking around on it, it's crisp and clean. Mostly no delay that I can see. Unless I'm playing a very twitchy game, like Ghost of Yotei didn't work super well on it, just because that response time, you need it to be really on, obviously, with the parry. But when I'm playing like Red Dead or just fucking around, and like Kingdom Come Deliverance on it is so cool. Playing these games in handheld, there is something, what's the word, new and interesting to the fact of like playing that type of game in a handheld situation. And I think, the beautiful screen helps a lot, like seeing, I don't know if it's OLED, but it feels LED. It looks gorgeous. And yeah, overall, besides that, I don't have too much else to say on it. I'm playing it pretty regularly. It's nice to just have there and to not, have to pull out my iPad and have a controller.
What are you playing on it?
I was playing Kingdom Come a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems like an odd one.
No, I feel like those are the games like that work the best because, they're slow. You're a lot of the combat. You don't even have to be, I feel like, as finicky as even a Ghost. But even that, I'm not in combat a lot in that game. Red Dead, it works really well for. I was playing Mind's Eye on it last night while Tamiris was watching a show. Like everything works really well, and I'm very surprised at how well the streaming quality keeps.
Does that have a speaker, or do you have to use?
It does, and it sounds nice and loud. It's honestly way louder than I would have expected.
Okay, cool.
And there is a headphone jack. So I ordered like a pair of like Apple headphones, $15. Plug them in. Now I got a headset for that.
Oh yeah, your headphones are here.
Yeah. Well, and even those like. I wanted a little bit nicer. And even those ones I might bring here for the podcast now because there's probably a better microphone on them. But it's been a nice little device to have, I got to say, especially when, you got a significant other of some kind. There are definitely specific use cases where it's like, I don't know how much you'd use it because you have the opportunity to play most of the time. And I don't know, maybe you want to sit there and watch something. And I don't know if you're a guy who would want to play something while watching a show or something like that.
When I was with my ex, I really considered it. I was like, this seems like an investment I need to make. Because I lugged not one, but both consoles to her house at one point.
I haven't tried.
That was an experience.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I'm like, I hurt my back doing it. Speaking about back problems, Trio, I literally was like walking out of our house and like walking down the steps with like
you got a tweak. Yeah.
Dude, I like.
No,
I remember it. I'm like, dude, this is like. There's got to be a better way.
I will say I haven't used it on not the same Wi-Fi network yet, so I haven't like brought it somewhere with me to use or something of that sort. And I don't really see myself doing that often, but yeah, it works really well. And so far,
like if you're like going down the shore, perfect op.
Yeah, I mean, but I'd be curious how. Yeah, I'm curious how well that works. Like
Penza brought it to like fucking like North Carolina,
and it works. And he said it was perfect. And so wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
And well, there is the thing now when you have PlayStation Plus Premium with it, like the highest tier, you can stream directly from the internet. Whereas, like, you're not so, like, you can stream it from their servers. You're not streaming it from your PlayStation.
So Casey ran into an issue. He can't play God of War on it.
Why?
The original.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm like, so, because I was like, he's like, do you know what?
Wait, God of War, like, 2018?
No.
Like the original. Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're streaming like a streaming game. You're like
but I'm
double
surprised
streaming.
No, but that's not... It should just be streaming it to hit. There shouldn't be any double streaming there. Like that's just the stream. Like it just streams it to you. It would just be streaming it to your thing instead of the console.
Right, but like for some reason, like it won't let him play it.
That is why I don't know. But can he do other streamable, like PlayStation 3 streamable games?
I don't know. I know he played like Baldur's Gate on it, but you'd have to ask him.
I do want to upgrade to premium for like a month to see how well that stuff works. Because like you can play like Red Dead Redemption on there. Like most PlayStation Plus premium games you can play directly from your portal without like having to connect to your PlayStation. So
yeah, I mean that the thing with that with me and I guess you would be discs.
Exactly, that is the problem. That really is
discs.
Well, and that's why the premium I think even helps with that, where like you don't need the discs in there, even if you have if you have that game through premium. Like Red Dead, like I have that on disc.
Or like God of War,
yeah.
Right.
Like you can still just stream that even without it being in your.
Not the original, the new ones.
Right. But yeah, one other quick console actually. I got the Switch 2 Gooch. After a while.
Yeah, we can start doing Switch 2 reviews.
We can. So I got a pretty good deal on my Switch ones. I got $140 for each of them. My fiance and I both had one. Gooch was not a fan, but what can I say? I needed the money.
Sure. Hers, sure. Yours,
but like again, it's just gonna take up. Maybe it's gonna be worth something someday. I don't know.
Did you buy her Switch?
No.
Okay.
No. So we both bought ours independently, and then we were like, well, we'll get $150. We ended up paying $180.
Did she have a light?
No. We both had classics. We had everything. So we got $150 for each of them, which is really good. Regularly, it's like $80 or it is, Scooch. It is. For if I want to resell it now, it's only gonna get worse. So I got $150. That's $300.
Replace the memories.
Well, and also, like, I don't have a very big connection to Nintendo. I just want to be able to play the newest stuff on there. And I don't know if there are any Switch cartridges that don't work on Switch 2. I'm actually like,
no, there are
that. So
it's not about that. It's just about keeping your hardware.
No, I got you. I understand. But it's been fun to play with so far. It's noticeably heavier. It's noticeably more well made. Like it doesn't.
Oh, those Joy-Cons.
It makes the Switch 1
those were like a toy.
They feel toyish, especially compared to it now. The new Joy-Cons are like. They're like 20% bigger. It's probably like the whole machine's like 30% bigger. And it's just enough to make it feel like it's filling your hand.
So we played Mario Kart World the other night at your house, but that was the first time you played it.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you've sat down with it post.
Yeah, I was messing around with it a little bit more. There's 8 Grand Prix. There's a lot more going on. They seem to have messed with the drift in the way of like it's not nearly as key as it was in the last game. Like the last game you have to be on 150, especially constantly drifting. Yeah. In this, it's a bit more specific, and you kind of have to be a bit more thoughtful about when you do it. Mm-hmm. There's the rail sliding, which adds another layer that you need to then acclimate to. It's different. It's very different in a lot of ways. It's very similar in others. I'm excited to get back more into it and play it more with everyone, and experience it and get that minutia down.
Is that all you have? You didn't
as
buy
far
Bonanza.
as Switch 2 games, yes.
Yeah. I want to get Bonanza.
I'm going to get Bonanza at some point. I've been messing with the Switch 2 update for Stardew, which has been fun. There's a Switch 2 update for Overcooked as well. That was free.
Yeah.
I do actually want to play Zelda again, I think, on there, like with 60 frames and all that.
Yeah.
So you actually might even be able to run that at 120. I can't remember. I know certain games, Metroid runs at 120 on the Switch 2.
Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Certain games they can run at 120.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to get Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah.
That was my next question.
Yes, at some point for sure. Yeah.
That seemed to be kind of like a duddy game.
I think it did well reviews wise, and I think people like enjoyed it. But
yeah,
I agree.
It's not what Metro Prime 4 needed to be. Maybe what happened to that game.
I feel like I'm so removed from that I can't even speak to that.
Yeah, I just know it's been it's a fucking mainline Metroid game. It should
first one in a while.
Really good.
Yeah. And that's it for me. That's it, Gooch. You ready to talk a little game of the year?
Game of the year, our own DNN's games, but we call it game.
Yeah.
Of the year. Yeah. It's been looking back and putting my list together. You know, I have like an honorable mention, but I like try not to do that. I really picked the games that like were the best this year, and I did play a lot. I feel like I played a lot this year, and then when I looked back and I'm like, what games really stood out? And I feel like it was like easy and hard to narrow it down. That like, because it's such a, for me, picking those definitive games of the year is such a big deal. It's not something I take flippantly. So sure. like Last Stand Media is doing like for the Summon Sign, they're doing like 10. And I'm like, that's insane. I'm like, and they're putting them in order. I'm like, that'd be so difficult for me. Because I feel like on you could talk to me on a different day and it would be a different order.
Sure.
Like, and that's why we don't do orders. We're just talking about, what are our favorite games of the year. How did you feel about putting this list together and, whatever else you want to say about the year of 2025?
I would tend to agree with you. It's funny looking, like you feel overwhelmed in the moment, then looking back, you're like, oh wow, there are a lot, but there weren't as many as I thought, and there weren't as many as I thought were like standing out to me. I mean, I have 4. I meant to add Death Stranding on there too, but I have 4 here that really truly were like my standouts, and the 3 that are listed, and then Death Stranding, and then other than that, I enjoyed mostly everything else that I played. But as far as like what like really captured me, those are the ones, right? For sure, and I think it's a little easier to kind of narrow it down to that specifically rather than putting it in like an order. I mean, if you twisted my arm, I think I would say KCD just for an amalgam of reasons, but
as your number one.
Yeah, as my number one, but Chrono, like I adored every single one of those games that we're about to talk about as far as game of the year.
So you want to just jump in? Sounds like you're
sure.
You're pre-coming a little bit.
I am. I'm pre-coming all over. KCD 2. There's only so much more I can say about it. I've been singing its praises all year. I won't beat your ears about it. Chew your ears about it. It's a fantastic, fully realized RPG in a way that you just don't see very often anymore. And we just talked about Outer Worlds, and are somewhat disappointed in that. And when you look at something like a Kingdom Come Deliverance and what a team like Warhorse.
I know you love Workhorse just as much as I do.
It's just in my head. When you see that a team like Warhorse can accomplish something like KCD2, it gives me a lot of hope for the games industry. And not that I'm like hopeless or anything about the games industry, but there's more to crack at. There's more there, especially in these genres that we can explore. And there are deeper areas we can go to when it comes to these systems and these ideas of how these worlds react to us. And Kingdom Come is the epitome of that to me in a lot of ways. And I thoroughly adore this game, and we'll not stop recommending it, and I can't wait to see what Warhorse does next. Do you want to go to yours next, or you want me to just keep going down my list?
What do you think?
I say let's go back and forth. Do you want to give your thoughts on Kingdom Come? Because I see it's on you there.
Kingdom Come 2 is also on my list as well. Yeah. How can we not? We've been, the review, we were really high on it. So if you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, please go check out our other stuff. For every game we're talking about, we did review. So there's a lot of content to go look at more in depth. Yeah, Kingdom Come 2 was definitely, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was definitely the best RPG of the year, hands down. Probably one of the best RPGs we've had, I'd say, since Witcher 3. Is that hot? Is that a hot take?
You know what, Gooch? No, I think that's spot on. I can't think of it. Maybe something will come to me after the podcast. Maybe there's something, but I would totally agree.
Yeah. I don't think we've had one to crack the glass quite like this. Maybe some people would argue Claire Obscure Expedition 33 did that, but not gonna claim that here. And we'll talk about that game a little later because I do have thoughts on it. But we won't be talking about it as one of my best games of the year. Yeah, I'm really excited to go back to it as well, to go to the DLC, to do my hardcore run, to get all the achievements. Yeah, and I've been I think I'm staying clear of it now because I know it's going to be a longer investment. If you listen to our, what we've been doing, I've just been kind of jumping back into games and like cleaning up achievements and trophies for like, DLCs and smaller stuff because I've just been playing so much longer games this year. Maybe that's why it's felt like it was like a lot and then like not a lot because every game we played was like a 60+ hour game.
No, that's
there
true.
Were like no short games this year. None. But even so, there's not 1 minute of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 where I was bored or I felt like this is going too long. I think the reason it took me and Trio so long to review it, I mean, I took a month longer than him, but like it's because we did like all of the side stuff and we really immersed ourselves in that world. And we wanted to do it. Yeah, and we wanted to do it. Unlike maybe some other games that we played this year where it's just like the side stuff just felt like a bit too much. We had our time with it. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a game I want to come back to. And I'm, like you just said, I'm looking forward to what Warhorse does next, whether that's a third-party IP, whether it is something else, but they will eventually return to Kingdom Come at some point, and I'm looking forward to that.
I agree, man. Yeah, I mean, kick ass. That's all I can say about Kingdom Come Deliverance. Should I go next?
Yeah.
All right. So, Chronos, The New Dawn. I adored this game as well. I'm going to use that word a lot today because it is a year of really fantastic games for me. Chronos hits so many, specific, like, I don't know, accoutrements of the horror genre and does so many different things at the same time that I can't help but commend Bloober, right?
Bloob.
Yep. Bloober team. It's an interesting story. It's an interesting world. It feels like it draws upon a lot of, familiar elements while very much making its own way. I can't wait to see what they do in the genre next. I don't want to get too much into it as far as story-wise. You can go back to our review. I think it's really well made. I think it's interesting. And I think it gives you enough and makes you and keeps you kind of in the dark while still keeping you interested. And that's like a tough dance to do. Because you can get to this point where you're like, all right, well, just fucking tell me what's going on. I don't really understand, and I'm just getting annoyed. Almost like with what we were talking about with the Outer Worlds, where you just get overwhelmed. Or you can get underwhelmed, and they just don't tell you anything. And that's not what fucking Chronos does. I will sing this game's praises till the end of time. One of my favorite horror games in a while. Gooch, fucking play it, please. And thank you.
Yeah, it's on the list. Yeah. it's on that ever-growing backlog list.
Yeah.
I'll jump into something different next. Yeah. Battlefield 6. Man, I know it's a fucking played out term, but the boots on the ground nature of Battlefield 6 and getting back into traditional Battlefield and jumping back in with not just one or two of your friends, but the whole fucking squad and squatting up and jumping in for hours on end and having an absolute great time. Battlefield 6 is the pinnacle of what modern day multiplayer is. And there are definitely other really standout multiplayer games of this year, like Arc Raiders and maybe Elden Ring Night Rain for some people. But yeah, we haven't had a game like Battlefield 6 in a long time. I would argue the last one is probably Battlefield 1, that like everyone was playing, and it just felt like this moment in gaming where like everybody was playing the same thing. I know it's kind of it's a tapered down a little bit, sure, but I think DICE has done a good job. Battlefield Studios have done a good job with putting in new content, but not overwhelming. I hate when games, I think Marvel Rivals fell into that, where I just felt like there was this it's so funny that I'm saying this. There's this constant churn of new content and FOMO going on that to a point where I'm just like, I'm out. Like, and I'm probably staying out. I've missed so much of Marvel Rivals. It's going to be hard for me to hop back in and act like I'm going to have my head on straight. But I don't feel like Battlefield 6 is ever going to have that problem. Yeah, there've been 2 new maps. There's some new modes. There's the Battle Royale. But it's still Battlefield. Nothing is changing with the gameplay from the changes they introduced. They are introducing new weapons too. Yeah, I've been really having a great time with it even still.
I will admit, I feel like I'm seeing a lot more gripes with it lately. Like a lot of people like complaining about like some of the Battle Pass stuff, some of the lack of content. I have seen that like 90% player drop off is pretty tough. So I'm very curious to see how they do. I mean, I will admit, I did exactly what I thought I was going to do with it. I kind of started playing it, and now I'll pick it up maybe here and there again. But it was nice to get back to that type of style for sure. Very much that lower, not lower tone, but like just slow down a bit. Can we just slow down a tiny bit? Like, let's just make it normal again, a tiny bit. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, like it's just weird.
I'm not sure the words for it, but I do know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
And then I got 2 more technically, actually, but I'll go off the horror train for a moment. Death Stranding 2. Let's talk about it, Gooch.
Okay.
Do you want to give your thoughts first, or
I wanted to?
All right. Well, then I'll go. Silent Hill. All right, sounds good. Then we can both turn back in. All right.
Yeah.
Silent Hill F.
Give me that.
This year has been a great year for horror. Chronos, Silent Hill coming back with the first mainline entry in, geez, how long? Like 15 years? Is it that long?
It probably is. I would say like 2011, maybe 12.
So a while.
Yeah.
We're going into a new setting, a very different direction. Not a very different direction. A very different direction setting-wise from what we're used to seeing in the series. Is this still Silent Hill that we know and love? Is this still going to hit the same type of ideas and themes? And the answer is absolutely 100% yes. This is a Silent Hill game through and through. I think it's an interesting idea to have a Japanese schoolgirl be your main character, and that might throw someone off at first glance. But I think they use it incredibly well. I think the themes that they explore are, not tired in any way, very much relevant even still to this day, but I still think it's an interesting kind of time to look back on a very specific time, especially in Japanese history. And within that culture, they take advantage of like the mystical elements of that culture, I think, very well. They weave in the horror elements and like the idea of what's happening, and even this idea of 2 worlds that we see in Silent Hill 2 being brought into this, where you have like the spirit world and your kind of natural world. It's a really fantastic game that I can't recommend enough, and I can't give that main character, I can't remember her name, the lead actress, enough credit. Yeah, she kicks ass.
Or her actual name.
Her actual name. I can't give her enough credit. I played through the whole game in Japanese as well. I definitely think that's how you should do it. Not only because the voice acting is so great, but the dub sounds like a dub in English. It definitely does not sound like that is the way you're supposed to experience that game. But yeah. Play Silent Hill F if you're a little perturbed by the setting or whatever, and you're I'm not like a Silent Hill stan. I don't know everything about the series, but as someone who enjoyed Silent Hill 2 Remake a lot, I think this kind of hit a lot of the same notes in a great way. When it comes to the psychological horror, when it comes to the themes and this idea of what this character is going through, it's really well done.
I have one honorable mention. I just want to get it out of the way kind of quickly. Elden Ring Night Rain. It's definitely not one of the best games of the year, but I think the experience was really valuable. I only played it for about like a month and a half and like put 60 hours into it and just really enjoyed like every session of it. I really had a lot of fun with it. A DLC came out for it recently that I didn't jump into. There's no achievements for it. I know some people who are playing it, but I think I had my moment with the game, and that's what it's going to be.
Right.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really unique. I never thought a Elden Ring multiplayer game was going to do it for me, and it's like it has like battle royale elements. It worked, and I really enjoyed my time with it. So I just wanted to give a slight shout out because I was thinking about putting it in there, but I didn't.
Right.
But of course, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is definitely my game of the year. Yeah, go watch our review for that. That's going to be definitely your in-depth look at that, just like all these games are.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we've literally reviewed every single game we're talking about here, which is good.
Right.
Because I feel like there is like 1 or 2 games where we just didn't do a review, or maybe one person played it.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess that's good. We
Mind's Eye, we missed. I can't believe it.
I guess it's good that we can look back and it's like, yeah, every single game here we did cover on the podcast, which is cool. Like I said, I don't think we've ever done that. But Death Stranding 2 really hit for me at a very difficult point in my life, and was very much paralleling what I was going through, and there's no way you can fucking make that shit up or like plan that at all. But Sam's journey to, oh god, what can I say without spoiling it? Sam's journey that he goes on to Australia, and sort of the
emotional journey he goes on.
The emotionality of it really stuck with me, and watching Kojima take what I really thought was just going to be a one and done with Death Stranding. I did not think we were going to get Death Stranding 2. I wasn't really asking for a Death Stranding 2, but clearly Kojima had more to say about connection and life and death and all that stuff. And I feel like it's really Death Stranding 1, just kind of like to the nth degree. It's everything Death Stranding 1 was from narrative perspective and a gameplay perspective, but better, more fleshed out,
more refined.
It's the same game though.
100%.
Obviously,
yeah.
it is Death Stranding, and again, like I said with Death Stranding 1, I think I'd be totally fine with just leaving it where it is. I feel like it ends on a point where there is probably interpretation for more.
Absolutely,
but I don't think anyone is I'm clamoring at the bit for more Kojima, and we're getting more Kojima, and we know we're getting non-Death Stranding stuff. Yep. OD, Fizzant. But to see the way Death Stranding played out and. I really enjoyed it. It kind of comforted me and aided me in a time of my life where I probably really needed it most. And it's probably an experience I'm never going to forget.
That's awesome, man. I will say for me, I'm definitely not it didn't have that emotional core for me for obvious reasons. And I'd love to hear that something can affect, you that much. And I'm glad that it had a positive effect, especially. And I think Kojima specifically, he has a certain way about him when it comes to the stories he wants to tell, and it's very heady, and that's fine. I think this one's much more straightforward than Death Stranding 1. I felt like the plot is much more followable in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
Which is great. But as far as the journey that Sam goes on, this idea of reconnecting Australia, and even dealing with Troy Baker's character, why am I forgetting his name? Higgs, and all of his kind of trials, and him being almost like the nega. The nega Sam, if you will. I thought all that stuff's really great, and we have a weird. I won't spoil too much. We have some weird and wild battles at the end that go ways that I just would not expect, and it feels as Kojima as you can get, and I love it. And I had a great time with it. I platinumed it. I spent 140 hours with it.
Yeah.
So
it was my most played game on PlayStation.
It was a hell of a game. I think it was my second most played, right behind KCD. But
right behind Mind's Eye.
Right behind Mind's Eye. But yeah, man, I don't know. It didn't strike me as hard as I feel like you narratively, but I still had a fantastic game with it.
How could it?
Exactly.
Even if I didn't have the hardships I did this year,
right?
I think it would have still
absolutely
hit me more hard. But it just is no, okay, I'm going through this process of loss and grief. Just like Sam is, to say the least. That's the whole game, is sort of him kind of all right, I'm gonna do this thing, and hopefully by the end I'll have processed this,
right,
while this totally other story is going on that is tangential to what that loss is. But yeah, it's hard to talk about in a very top level sort of
absolutely
way.
And I think
so, check out our review.
Absolutely, please do that
and play it.
But when it comes to just the gameplay elements and stuff like that, even it's a game that really probably shouldn't work at all, and it still does.
Kojima is the only one who can make it.
That's kind of wild to me, and there is something incredibly satisfying to the delivery element of it, lining up your deliveries, trying to be as logical as possible, and as what's the word I'm looking for? Efficient. Thank you, as possible. It's satisfying, and it's a very specific type of gameplay loop that I don't know if anyone else could pull off. So
yeah, good
on you, Mr. Kojima-san. Moving on.
Worst games of the year.
We
both only got one. I feel like in the past we both had 1, 2, or 3.
I will say this year I didn't play many where I was even Mind's Eye. I'm gonna it's kind of a half jokey one because I'm I knew that one was gonna be bad.
Right. Yeah.
There wasn't one where I put down this year and I was like, oh, that sucked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
I wasted my time.
Like we've been saying with the game of the year coverage, this year has been excellent.
Yeah.
And that's why the only bad game for me is Lost Soul Aside, where this is a game, China Hero Project, takes 10 years to develop and just kind of clearly fell apart at the end, is sort of sloppy in the terms of just because it's a 10-year-old, it's an idea from 10 years ago that got made this year,
exactly,
last year,
yeah,
that just didn't come together, and I'll eventually return to that game to get the platinum, but yeah, it was kind of a slog to get through, and I wish it was better.
Yeah.
There's definitely the core of the game I feel could have been better, but
right. And then for me with Mind's Eye, it's funny because you can see that there is some AAA money behind it, but it's a AA showing, and it's from this famed man who was apparently a major part of Grand Theft Auto, who, from what we can tell now, really probably wasn't a major part of it. He was probably just a money guy behind the scenes when it comes to Leslie Benzie. So I don't know. I got Mind's Eye. I said this. It was $10 on GameFly used. That money's going to GameFly. It's $10 that I spent on it. I have it for posterity's sake. I'm going to play it and be like, oh, I have the platinum. Oh, I don't know.
In terms of talking about it just really quickly about how it's like the third party money, but the AA sort of outing.
Yeah.
How does it like compare to like Outer Worlds 2 like that? Like, cause we're kind of talking about like a similar kind of.
It is like
production experience team devs. Yeah.
It's interesting because like Outer Worlds feels much less like a facsimile of Fallout than Mind's Eye feels like a facsimile of Grand Theft Auto. Like do you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like, it just feels like I know what you're trying to do.
They're trying to capture a genie in a bottle.
Yeah, and like, whereas I at least kind of will give Obsidian credit to where it's like they kind of know that they're not trying to necessarily do the Bethesda formula. They are. That's something I actually maybe kind of hate about them to a degree too, where they kind of tend to tiptoe on the line of what they used to do and what they're doing now. Whereas like Mind's Eye is like, you can just tell they're just trying to be Grand Theft Auto, and like the way the weapon wheels works, the way the world reacts to you, you can run over people, but then it's like super linear and like locked in. And if you go outside the 15-foot area of this mission, it's going to fail. You can't use any other car besides the one you're given. If you shoot someone, the mission ends. There's all these very strict parameters, which, don't get me wrong, Grand Theft Auto and like Red Dead has, but it doesn't feel as intrusive. I don't know. Maybe that's just a better game design element. I really don't know where it comes from.
This is actually the only game that we are talking about that we played that we didn't review. Because you just started it.
Yeah,
which is pretty funny.
That is funny.
You know, again, I'm kind of glad to see that.
I am too.
That we really
for
reviewed
sure.
everything. So what was our biggest surprise of the year, positive or negative? Mine is kind of both. Expedition 33's sweep, praise, everything about it. I just could have never expected that. And that's kind of why it's not on my game of the year list. I feel like if it wasn't as popular, it would be.
Right.
And I feel like I'm just not, I don't love it enough for me to even try to champion it. Isn't that kind of weird?
No,
there's so much love for it that I'm gonna let other people have that love. There's a fuzz right here. I'm gonna let those other people love it and champion it, and I'm just gonna like not do it at all.
And like you obviously don't feel that as strongly as those people about it either. Like I think it would be one thing if you walked away and you saw these people praising it and you were like, oh, I feel like it was that good. Like, I'm here with that too.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've almost walked away from it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and been like, it was great, but like, was it this mind-bending, world-melting thing that we're speaking about? I don't think so. I don't know. But again, I haven't played it. Gooch has. I'm going to say that. I don't know.
It's exactly it. I don't have, like, other people have probably better things to say about it than I do.
Right.
And that's why I'm just kind of, like, abstaining from even, like, pretending like I loved it that much. It's weird. It's like I feel like it's like I'm in like a rock and a hard place with it.
I get it.
I want to acknowledge that was a good game and I liked it, but like everyone else has said so much more about it.
The gooning to it has been wild.
Let them fucking do it. You know, it swept the Game Awards, which was like I know it's not surprising, but it's still also surprising. That's never happened before, where a game just truly dominated the whole fucking show.
Well, it's crazy. It's one thing if you walked away feeling like it does, like you as a player who played it walked away feeling like it really was deserving of all those things, and you know we can have that conversation with whoever disagrees or agrees, but I don't know. It leaves this weird taste, this weird feeling for sure, and I totally agree. As far as my biggest surprise this year, I do think it was Dying Light: The Beast. It's a DLC. It's like a Dying Light 2.5 expansion that really kind of honed in on what I think Techland does best with these games. It brought the horror back, and I felt like a real way that I didn't realize was missing in Dying Light 2. The parkour feels amazing. The gunplay feels fun. The melee combat is great. I just didn't expect it to hit the high that it did, especially for it being that 2.5 outing. And I'll give Techland a lot of credit. I can't wait to see what they do next, and I would love to see them, continue on the Dying Light train. I'm much more excited for what's to come from this rather than from Dying Light 2, and that's cool. That's great to see. I just would not have expected that.
I'm just thinking about Dying Light. Are they going to do a third game?
They definitely set it up. Okay. So at the end of the DLC, Kyle beats the Baron, and I think I mentioned this
so is it going to be like Kyle versus the new guy?
I think it's going to be Kyle versus Gru, the GRE. Sorry, which is the global
resistance.
No, they're like an umbrella type corporation that are kind of around after the plague has happened, and they kind of caused this zombie outbreak to happen after not Havana. I think it's Havana actually, where the first game is set. But yeah, I think the idea is you're going to be going at them and trying to take them down. Be my best guess.
Cool. So let's talk about what we're looking forward to most in 2026. How much time do you want to spend on all this?
I was just gonna. I don't know. I wasn't gonna necessarily give like a full beat out on everything. I guess it's as much or as little as you want to give on each. I was gonna say like as stuff of like 007 we've talked about, but those two, your first two, I'm also excited about. They look great.
So I have 007 First Light. I'm excited for that. I'm trying to put the Lenny Kravitz of it behind me a little bit and focus on like the gameplay. Yeah. It did get delayed between like now and the last time we talked about it. Mm-hmm. So it was supposed to be early this year, and it's in like May now.
I think it's like a 3-month delay.
Yeah,
they said it's content complete. They're just working,
which is interesting because it didn't look like it needed more time.
No, well,
which I guess is a good thing.
Well, I do. To be fair, I feel like people were pointing out how they were seeing a lot of frame dips, especially in the driving, and there were certain like quality of life stuff. So I think they did see that and go like, all right, let's give it 3 months. Polish. Let's get it as polished as we can. So yeah.
Pragmata was next on my list.
Yeah.
I didn't play the demo.
I haven't either.
It's coming out the day before my birthday. Just really interested in that game, and I kind of want to know as little about it as possible. I don't need to play the demo.
I agree with you. I'm locked in already.
Let's switch over to you. Yeah. Let's do two.
So I Control. I was gonna say that too. I meant to add that I just didn't put these again because you already put them down. I can't wait for Resident. I am excited to see us like go out into New York and play as Jesse's brother. I think that's a cool kind of switch up.
Yeah, I think not one that I expected at all.
Not one that I expected at all. It seems a bit more melee focused. I don't want to say Dark Soulsy, but like
Devil May Cry,
right? Maybe? Something along those lines. I don't know if the gunplay is still going to return. Maybe it is.
I am definitely going to play Control 1 again before this. I'll probably play like the upgraded version on Xbox. I was like, oh yeah. I'll play it on PlayStation, but like, oh no, it has a different trophy list, and I play all the Remedy games on Xbox.
Right.
It's probably what I'll do at some point.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks awesome, and fucking Remedy is one of those developers you just can never count out, especially after Control. Like I feel like they really did show their colors. But then as far as what else, Saros, I'm so pumped for. Housemark. They know.
And you played Returnal late.
I did.
Too. I think that's funny. I got it on launch.
You did, and then I reviewed it
without you.
I think I played it on PlayStation Premium for free for like an hour, and I was like, I don't know if I really get this. But then for some reason, I picked it up again, and it just clicked.
I'm curious if the aspect of it being more narrative based is going to help it.
Yeah, I would be curious
because it is taking like a different approach at it than Returnal did, where Returnal
narratively specifically,
sort of this like ambiguous sort of like
heady. You don't know necessarily what's happening. A bit more even Silent Hilly to a degree, almost in that regard. Sure. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I'm excited for Saros. It's very much a spiritual successor to Returnal in the gameplay department. But I do appreciate that they are leaning more into the narrative stuff and maybe giving you a bit more to bite into when it comes to that apple. But please, Gooch, what do you got next?
I have Greedfall 2, The Dying World. This game is a sequel to Greedfall 1 by Spiders. It's sort of like a colonial RPG. You're like a group of settlers going to like the new world and like colonizing it, and it's a story about mysticism and colonialism and things like that. They're doing a sequel to it. It's actually been in early access since September, maybe a bit earlier, and it's supposed to come out this year. And I'm just looking forward to it. It's kind of like a AA RPG that, again, I played it, liked it, thought I had some problems, see a lot of potential in it. Sort of similar to KCD.
I see.
And like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
I'll do my next two really quickly.
Sounds good.
Fable is supposed to come out this year, and Gears E-Day is supposed to come out this year. We don't have dates for them, but they are slated for 2026.
I think Fable needs to come out this year.
Fable needs to be Game of the Year.
If not, in very much like
it
neck and neck for the running.
It needs to be nominated for Game of the Year.
I would agree with you.
There's a lot riding for Xbox. And it's funny because like their output was kind of more than Sony's this year.
No, listen, their output was great this year, and we got some good stuff. And I mean, starting from Indiana Jones, like in 24,
they won a game award. I mean, so I actually did Yote? No, Yote won nothing.
No, yeah. But that's even again like it's nice to see
Which is so
Xbox
funny
get
to be
anything.
like, and I guess like is Claire Expeditions wins somewhat a win for Xbox because like they were on Game Pass and they were kind of in like what does that mean?
I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't even like.
Right.
Xbox, I will say, is kind of so far removed from the conversation at this point for me where I'm like, they can win as a publisher, but that's, I guess, it at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah. It would be a win from that perspective for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and Gears E-Day, I still got to finish up Gears 5 trophies, but I just want Gears to be Gears again. Fuck the live service shit. Fuck the multiplayer platform shit. Get back to the campaign we love. Get back to the world we love. Get back to the gameplay we love and the characters we love. And just give me a good story.
I agree.
I don't care about the multiplayer. It's probably gonna have it, but I really don't want it. I don't want it to be this meaty fucking thing, you know, that like Gears 5 essentially is with Horde and Versus and Escape and Campaign and the DLC. Like I want like a smaller experience. I think that's what Gears needs to get back to boots on the ground and like understand where they came from. I know it's a totally different team and stuff like that, but yeah.
I think they can do it. No, I agree with you, man. 110%.
Finish her up.
Yeah, we'll finish her up. I'm not going to do this one too long. RE9, I kind of gave you my reasons earlier. I'm excited to see what they do with Requiem. I personally do like the idea of having these two different play styles. I think you can balance that much better when you only have two of them. And I trust the Capcom of the day that we currently have. So I'm excited to see what they do there. Star Wars Galactic Racer, man. This pumped me up when I saw it at the Game Awards. Next year, it seems like it's really within sight, and I could see them putting this out. I'm going to get that. I would love to play the shit out of that with you.
Yeah.
I think we would have a good time on that. The last two, these aren't dated, so they're kind of like, they're nebulous. I do think Wolverine is going to come out this year.
I think we were talking to Super at your house the other night. I really realized how out of Marvel I am.
Sure.
Like, and I'm just like, I just don't think I really care. I'm down to be surprised.
Sure.
And I'm not going to not get it, but I don't think I really care about Wolverine until it's in my hands.
Why would you say that is?
I'm tired of Marvel. There's so much Marvel. I'm never going to be without Marvel in my life at this point. I would kind of like to be without it. Remember what it was like when it was good. And then like,
see, it's fun. Like that doesn't affect the games for me at all. Like, or like like it affects the movies for me.
Right.
Like
when I think at a point in time it didn't, but I think it's seeping over into everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so pumped for it. It looks so good. And
yeah. I mean, I think
like
don't
Wolverine
disagree.
himself looks awesome. Yeah, I'm not necessarily that sour on like the Marvel
I'm just
stuff.
holding back on it a
little
bit.
Yeah. I mean,
again, until it's in my hands, and I'm gonna get it on launch for sure.
I love that it's rated M. That is the big thing for me. That was the key that I was hoping. I think the guy that they got another Aussie playing Wolverine, which I think is hilarious. He looks great. It just comes down to the story now at this point.
What the fuck's his name? He plays JD.
Liam something or other. I can't remember his name.
It's funny that JD could be associated with JD Vance now, but I meant JG Phoenix.
Jorkin de Penis Vance.
The guy who plays Niles is also Del in Gears 5 too.
Oh, really?
Cool to see him return. Yeah, I like his voice.
And then I guess to round us out here, though, Blood of the Dawnwalker. So this is like the ex-Witcher.
This is like super nebulous.
Though I mean, they suppose like
will this come out? Debatable.
Well, I don't know. This one I believe,
but it's got a 2026 release.
It does, and sorry. I believe this one more because like I feel like we started hearing about this like 2 years ago. So like I feel like this is the year it kind of has to come out. It's been talked about to death, and they've been showing so much of it. So they seem to kind of have it locked in. The idea is like you play as like this daywalker, you're like a half-blooded vampire who can, you know, come around during the daytime. Your family gets kidnapped by these vampire lords, and you have a 30-day time cycle to finish the game and get your family like.
Oh, there's
free.
A time limit.
There is a time limit.
Did they release a big thing recently?
Well, people. So that was already known like a while ago that there was a time cycle.
I'm
but
not really savvy on this.
People were curious, like, so what does that mean? Like, if I like, is there a timer going at all times? What's going on? So the idea is there are certain quests that you do that are pre-marked that are like, once you do this, it progresses this much amount of time. So when you're just going around doing side quests, unless it's specifically stated, time won't be passing. But yeah, there's a time clock. There's a certain amount of things you can only do in a certain amount of time before you finish the game. You can continue the game once the time cycle ends, I believe they said. But, it's very Witcher coded. You can see it just from the way it looks.
It's Witcher devs.
That's what I was saying. It's Witcher devs, ex-Witcher devs. There's all these vampire powers going on. I like the combat's like a little KCD-like with how you have to parry and things like that. Like there's like directional swings that you have to parry and stuff. Mm-hmm. It looks interesting. If they could pull it off, I think it could be something very, very cool. But yeah, it's definitely an unknown quantity. But every time I see something about it, I'm interested. And then there's that other Crimson Desert game that I keep seeing that like I don't think that's real. I think it's fake. It's real. No, I'm saying like I think it's real, but like
it's Korea slop.
It's gonna be, but like it's just doing so much in it where I'm like, how can this even work? You know what I mean?
I really don't know a lot about it. I just know it's by the Black Desert people.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me, Gooch. As far as 2026 goes.
Which 2025 games did we want to play this year but didn't get a chance to? Mine was Dispatch.
I'm with you there. Yeah. As well as I did buy Hell Is Us that's sitting on my shelf. I'm going to play it at some point.
I think Dispatch is like, again, I'm playing a lot of shorter experiences, just, not committing to 100 plus hour RPGs, probably, within the foreseeable future. I just don't want to do that. I think Dispatch I might pick up soon.
There you go.
So I feel like last year, like my pick was like Balatro and a few other things that I never ended up playing. But yeah, hopefully I get to Dispatch sooner rather than later.
Love it. Yeah, and Hell Is Us, that's the one where it's like there's no quest markers or anything.
Yeah, I remember.
So, yeah, I'm excited to get to it.
Elias Tufaxis plays the main character.
Yep.
He's Adam Jensen.
He has the main character has like a weird like 16-year-old haircut.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
I've heard. Mm-hmm. Oh, like a broccoli head?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Like a nice perm.
I was talking to my mom about that yesterday. She was watching some cooking YouTuber, and I'm like, his kid was like eating his food, and I'm like, he has the most Gen Z haircut I've ever seen in my life. And she's like, what do you mean? It's like that broccoli head thing. Just like that's front. Yeah. They all have that. Yeah. And she's like, oh,
it's funny. Fades were the big thing for us.
Yeah, at least
crew cuts.
People, I get. I
mean, fades are I think that's like the normal way to get your haircut now. But like the type fades and
Yeah.
Oh man.
Last one. What was our favorite game that we played this year that did not come out in 2025? I've talked about these all throughout the year, and so I'm not going to go too long on them. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, which is a platformer from the PS2 days, which I played as a kid, that they re-released on PS5, and the Xbox One isn't out yet, but it's on PS5 and PS4, or maybe just PS4, probably just a PS4. And I played that around my birthday, loved that, and of course, probably the game I played the most this year, probably one of them, Hitman World of Assassination. I don't know if I'm going to go back and play the other Hitman games necessarily right away, but I really did love this like full foray into
you're in it
IOI and Hitman. Yeah, I could see like just like slowly going back through. I mean, it took me like 7 years to play the entirety of the Resident Evil series as I slowly chipped at it since 2019. And I want to do that with Devil May Cry next. So the thought of going through a series is very daunting.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot, man. It is. I will say those are a bit more reasonable as far as like you're not going to get a lot of play time out of all of them.
Yeah.
But if you ever get the time, I would absolutely say replay those games. Yeah.
The first Hitman game is
I think it's just Hitman Agent 47.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah, that's a subtitle. Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to think of. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's like there's one in between that and Blood Money, but
Contracts?
I think that's it, something like that. Yeah. As far as me, this one's a little weird one. It's kind of that's why I put We'll Talk. Elder Scrolls Oblivion, the remaster. It was weird to play like that old game. Like it is the old game, but it just looks like a new coat of paint. And that was a fun experience. And I had a great time with it. You know, it has its issues. It has its age, as we talked about in our review, in our re-3, actually, which you can go back and watch.
5 episodes of that.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't release the full one.
We didn't release the full one yet, yeah. But it was really a lot of fun to get back to. And again, the game shows its age, and I see the issues that I have with it that they took care of in Skyrim. But then there are some things in that game that I like that are then taken out in Skyrim. So it's a give and a take, and it was a great, fun trip down memory lane. I started The Witcher 3 again, as we talked about earlier. just a fucking fantastic RPG that is a great time to go through. It looks gorgeous on the PlayStation 5, runs at 60 frames per second. And there is the quick sign thing now, which I mentioned in the chat before. And in the game, you used to have to like pull up your menu and choose a sign, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a system where you hold LB and that maps all of your face buttons to the sign. So in combat, I'm playing, I click LB, I can switch to Art, I can switch to Igni. I'm using all of I only used like Art and Igni. I didn't use a lot of them because
Quen was
Quen's good, but like
boy in Witcher 2.
That was good, but like don't get me wrong, like it really interrupts the flow of combat to pull up that menu, and I forgot about that.
It's been so long since I played it.
Click, okay, move over, got to get it. Like with this, it's just so much more intuitive, and I really do think it's a game changer for the combat. But it's been great to go back through. What's that world called? What's the name of the continent? Novigrad and all the stuff.
The continent is
it just the continent?
Yeah.
I think it is just the continent. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been nice to go back through the continent again. And then to finish it off, I replayed Amnesia the Bunker this year, got the platinum. I talked about it on the podcast before. Frictional is just such a fucking fantastic developer, man. They're so different and interesting.
We've been a fan of them since the beginning.
We really have. And
I feel like they kind of have this spot in terms of our friendship lore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. And I just think they're such a specific and interesting developer that just makes super different games than I ever play. Even when it comes to like walking simulators, they add their flavor to it in a way that just makes it so interesting and cool. And I think the Bunker epitomizes all of their gameplay elements into one kind of really cool little sandbox 2-hour experience that you can go in and just kind of churn through a bunch of times. And it's a haunted house, a replayable haunted house that plays out differently every time. And I'm curious to see how they introduce those elements into Ontos and how they kind of, flesh that stuff out. I cannot wait to see what they do. Fantastic games all around. But Gooch, does that do it for us today? Is there anything else?
We forgot to talk about something at the very top in housekeeping.
Oh, what did we forget?
Our chairs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got some new chairs.
Yeah,
they match
I'm sure you probably can't
it's gray and red, yeah. They're nice and padded. They have a nice pad for my butt.
Yeah, we have been talking about getting new chairs here and there for quite a while, and Trio led the charge and bit the bullet. And yeah, we got new chairs with more padding. We're a little higher. They're a little take some getting used to, but my butt kind of hurts, but I think it's just from sitting a little bit.
I'm feeling good right now. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I've probably been like leaning up. I don't know. Yeah. It's probably just the way I've been sitting. But
this is the longest seat in them so far.
Yeah, so. We only recorded one other thing, and that was Avatar with them. So this is the second outing with them.
Gracing our bottoms with a nice plush.
So that was it. Yeah. So yeah, if you played any of the games we talked about, or maybe you played games we didn't talk about, we would love to hear it in the comments below. And please make sure to share with a friend. Tell a friend about us. Review us, comment, subscribe,
share,
do everything you got to do. Join the Discord because that's always a great time.
Absolutely.
And Trio's going to tell you more about that in a sec. But I just wanted to say Happy New Year. We look forward to doing more content in 2026. The next month's podcast is going to be different. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to maybe doing more of this kind of stuff. That's what I was talking about, getting like higher profile guests, getting more of an appeal, bring new people in who probably wouldn't be finding us elsewhere. But yeah, I'll let Trio take it away.
Yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching with us. If you've been with us live on Twitch or YouTube, we really do appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network on your service of choice. We got a Facebook page, a Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below. We're on all the social medias with an @sign at Delco Nerds. You can find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy New Year. Thank you for your time. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.